Hello! Today I'm going to do a shed shop update, and because I've gotten some stuff done here today. As you can see, I have a shelf, and I have a bench, and we're working on the oil burner stove, oil burner furnace. We also got our projects in here and stuff like that. But yeah, pick that up off of Marketplace. Pick that up off of Marketplace. This is how I'm saving so much money on this whole thing. Just getting this stuff secondhand because really there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with getting secondhand. We got the mill moved into here. Got pretty much everything moved in. Just need to organize all this and figure this out. Because I don't like that bin right there sticks out. I don't feel like tripping over it. But we still don't have permanent electricity in here yet. We don't really have insulation, obviously, and it's getting colder. It's getting colder for sure. Got radio though. Got radio. That's gonna be nice. But yeah, got this workbench. I got the toolbox under there. Sitting on some milk crates just to make it a little bit higher because, well, I just need somewhere to go. I need somewhere to put those milk crates, so yeah. And yeah, been building this guy here. Ran out of welding wire, so can't really do much more on it right now. But we got, let me just pull that out of the way. But we got a good chunk of it done. Let me just pull out some of these parts here. We were, oh well, whatever. So this is kind of like how far we've gotten. Let me grab the light here for a second. This is how far we've gotten. It's kind of just like the base right now, but let me see where I can hang this up. Can I hang you up here? You okay there? Oop. Yep. We're still doing it. We're still doing this bit of a janky way. Still trying to figure out how to do videos and how to do all this stuff. How to get good lighting and stuff like that. Because I can see in there, but I don't think you guys can. But there's kind of the furnace right now. We got there we go. We got our door. We got the base. We got our inlet tube. So that is going to air goes in there, and then comes into shadows. Comes into our burn pot, our burn chamber here. So there's the burn chamber. Lid goes over top of that. There's holes in this tube on the side, so then it goes from there up into there. Air gets blown through, and surrounding it is oil, and as that off gases, that's gas that actually burns. So it'll heat up, and then the air will push out the gas air mixture and burn through these holes that are cut out on the side there. I work with a very, very handy tool to make it so cutting out very clean lines and slots and stuff like that is very easy and very nice. So been used that a couple times just to cut out like the odd piece or two. And so that's going to be finished sooner or later. That's the top. This tube is going to go right through over there. It's going to go into that thing. It's going to go through the entire system. So as this tube gets very, very hot, we're going to blow warm air through it, and then it'll just basically be more of a convection heat rather than just a radiant heat, which will be way nicer. Because with it being in that corner, it's not going to radiate heat. the best because it's gonna be cooled down. Because I don't have insulation yet. So I kind of just sticking that thing on top there like a hat until I can kind of get it all welded together. I'm thinking I'm gonna keep all these little doodads here, because I don't know, it just gives it a little bit of character. I like that. Always like to have things have a little bit of character. Just gonna put that away. Don't feel like having all my parts in the same spot. Makes things easier to find. Bench is obviously messy. Gonna clean that up eventually. Just using it. So yeah. Toolbox is nicely sitting under here. I'm finally starting to use toolboxes more. I've just been kind of having like all my stuff in tool bags, and it's a pain in the butt to be able to freaking get everything that you need. Because sometimes like until I got this thing, which is so much nicer now than a tool bag, until I got that thing, I'm like digging through all my stuff, and like you have all your big tools here. This is a great example, actually. You have all your big tools here, and you gotta drag all those tools out, and then you can finally get your sockets that fell all to the bottom, and it was just a pain. It was just a pain in the butt. So this thing's been a lifesaver. This thing's been great. Have all my big tools at the bottom. When I need to find my sockets, they're all here. I need to organize it a little bit better. I'd like to have all my standard here and then my metric here. But I just use this thing so often that I can't even like... It's hard to keep that thing fully organized. But it's just a lot better to have a toolbox like this. A lot better to... Easy to find my sockets. Here's my wrenches. There's my ratcheting wrenches as well. And little bits here. Drivers. Got a couple welding magnets there. And then there's all the weird adapters that you're always gonna lose if you have a tool bag. And then it just closes up mostly nicely. It's old, but I like the older stuff, so it just has character. Oop. Oh, of course. Gotta open up this. Both latches gotta go back first, then you can close it, and then you can actually clasp it, because you can't really pick up this thing without closing those two latches. I'm really tall, so bending over is a pain in the butt for me. But I got some cabinets up. Those are really nice. Just from IKEA. I just bought them from IKEA like a long time ago, and I've just been using them for other purposes. But they fit pretty good. They look pretty good in a shop. But they're pretty easy to put together. They're not too expensive, and they look pretty good. So if you're ever looking for storage cabinets for a garage, but you don't want to go wood, these cabinets, IKEA, like nothing's wrong with them. They come in 3 sizes, as you could see, and they're freaking great. So yeah, that's another thing that I got done. Got this little shelf here, because when I'm working here, yes, the lathe's not operational. I know, like, don't put anything on the bed. I know, but the lathe's not operational right now. It's just like rubber feet on the bed. Like, it's not gonna hurt it. It's gonna be fine. And once I get the lathe operational, there's nothing gonna be going on this bed. Nothing at all. So, but my point being is, I'm standing here and I'm working on my thing, and then I have myself a little side shelf here so I can put my tools down. So like if I need like my tightening wrench or my chuck key or whatever, that can all go right here. That can just sit right beside me when I need it, instead of having to always put the stuff on top of here, because sometimes you're just doing some turning operations and if things get rattly a little bit. And also this is supposed to swivel, so not really the most ideal place to put tools for when, like, the tools that you always need. like I said, chuck key. Always need a chuck key. But that's why I installed this guy here. That is currently being blocked by this latch right here. You can tell how new I am in this shop because I'm just figuring that out now. That's kind of funny. I guess I'll have to give this thing just a little bit of scooch because you can see it's just barely touching it. But yeah, stuff's in there. Also stuff's in there. Like I said, we're gonna have mill tools in this one. We're gonna have lathe tools in this one because I don't think I'm gonna need much for space for the mill tools, and I'm not gonna need much space for lathe tools. So this is actually also gonna be holding measuring tools. I know I should be measuring in a climatized environment, but we're not doing aerospace stuff here. We're just doing hobby stuff. So nothing really too, oh my gosh, like we don't need the ultimate precision. That's why we have also a lot of used tools. Although I didn't realize that Starrett or Starrett would actually jump in price so much, but it did. But yeah, that's kind of the update on the shed. Got a lot of stuff done. Still got a little bit to go before we can actually start using the shed. Like I said, we need to route power over here somehow. And the extension cord is just not the greatest because this is it's just not thick enough gauge, and I need a little bit of higher amperage because I'm running a 100-foot cord. And the longer you go over a cord, the more you have to worry about losing amperage and having more resistance. And I have one that's a little bit thinner than this one here, and I can't run my compressor off of it because it just pulls too much power for me to actually run it off that thinner cord. Although that one might be a little bit longer than this one, but the point still stands that in order to run a drill press or a compressor or some of the other machinery in here or tools, it's just better to have a thicker cord for that stuff. We are going to finish the Thompson Senior. We are going to finish the RC car. We just need to get this whole shop done because when I moved out my previous place and I moved into this place and it had no shop, so we had to build this whole shed by ourselves here, and it took a lot. It took a good amount of work because I was doing it all myself. But the nice thing is we were able to go back on the marketplace and get this whole tin area done, and we got this tin shed here that I then extended and lifted up for $50, which is awesome. Like, I can't believe we got that for such a good deal. It's one of those build it yourself sheds, but I'm 6'7", and these things are like usually like 5 foot, which that was obviously not going to work. So we raised it by 2 feet with these boards here. Got those from a relative, and that runs a company, and they did a job, and these things have been sitting in their yard for like years. And I was like, well, perfect. Then I'll just like stack them up, make a small wall with them. Should be fine. And yeah, now we got ourselves a 10 by 10 shed here, and framed up all this stuff because I am going to insulate it, and I do just want more rigidity. Cause you can see that actually our ends here hang right on the wall. Hangs on the wall there. Hangs on the wall there. Hangs on the wall up there. That way we can have a nice roof support, because here in Canada I just worry about the snow coming in and kicking this thing's butt, and the wind also. You can probably hear the door rattling. The wind probably is going to kick this thing's butt, especially with it being a bit heavier, a bit taller now. Not heavier. It's going to be a bit taller now. So wind's gonna catch it a little bit more, but it's pretty solid. It's pretty solid in here now, so I'm pretty happy with that. And yeah, that's kind of it for the shed right now. Like I said, we just need to get power. We need to get these things, get the furnace done. We need the furnace because I hate the cold. Cold sucks. I'm gonna say it a million times. You're probably gonna hear me say it all the time. Cold sucks. I hate it. But we got plans for this, and we got plans to finish this. That RC car got way too big, way too fast, but it'll be fun nonetheless. We got all our parts up here for it. Been turned these down, made these parts here. That's gonna go into the hub there, and gonna use these wheels here. And that'll be a fun project. It's gonna be a fun toy to play with. And then actually I'm gonna use it to develop an engine. Oh yes. This is the engine block version 1. So that's gonna be fun. We're gonna build that. Still trying to figure that out. Because I'm not an engineer, so I'm just trying to figure out how to build an engine because I freaking love engines. They're great. So we're gonna build that engine and eventually stick it on that cart. And then we're going to test drive it because I like to see things actually do stuff and not just like, oh, it's an engine and it spins. Cool. It just spins. Whatever. And so, yeah. So, going to finish that. Going to drive it around. Have fun with it. Build another motor for it. Test it out on that thing. Got to build this thing, though, to build the motor because, as you can see, no bed. Good news, the beds that go on one of those larger sizes of benchtop mills, actually the saddle will fit on this. Just gonna have to make a custom, what's that thing called? The thing that, it's not a shim. It's but it screws in and out. So that then you can keep the gib, the adjustment gib. There we go. Just gotta make a custom gib, and then this saddle will fit on the benchtop saddle will fit on here, and then we can just use a standard bed that goes with that benchtop. It'll be a lot easier to source those parts. It'll be a lot easier to source those parts because this is an old machine that's not common to Canada. They are around, I know that, but trying to find someone that just has like a busted up one with like the bed still in good condition and actually like somewhat nearby is pretty hard. Like I find these machines when they're fully sold, but no one's gonna part out a fully complete machine. So yeah, they're fully done. And I see them being on the marketplace, but they're just very like obviously I'm not gonna buy a new used mill, new to me mill, and then take it apart just to make this thing and then have the same problem on the other mill. So gonna use some aftermarket parts, gonna do that. Gonna do some eventually I'm gonna incorporate the gearbox into the bed, and then we'll have its original features, and it'll be almost like it was when it came out of the factory. Almost. It'll have all the original functions. It'll have the same bed size. It'll have the same saddle size. It'll be all the same there. It's just a newer bed, but all the specifications should be there, which is really all I'm looking for. And honestly, for home machinist, that's good enough for me. I'm really glad I have the knucklehead though, because these things are hard to find, and they're super expensive. So yeah, if I was forced to sell this mill, I'd probably be just better off just literally selling this and then having the whole thing go scrap. I really don't want to do that obviously though, because it's still really good. Like this right here is so smooth and so nice. Like there's obviously no nothing wrong with these parts here. There's nothing wrong with the back ways here. They're all nice and smooth. No roughing. No one screwed this up at all. Like, this is nice. So a lot of potential. But we'll get there. We're gonna have to get this thing wired up first because obviously that'll be a lot easier and cheaper to wire up one of these things than to fix that guy. So yeah, that's kind of the plan. Get electricity, get the furnace up and running, and work on projects. So yeah, have a good one.